Welcome back to our channel, Pocket Change Coins, another exciting episode where we dive into the world of rare and valuable coins. Today, we're going to explore one of the most iconic and sought-after coins in U.S. history, the 1944 wheat penny, a coin that has intrigued collectors for decades. If you've ever wondered what makes this particular penny so valuable, stick around because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why a simple 1-cent coin can be worth a lot more than just pennies on the dollar. Let's take a step back in time to the year 1944. The United States was still in the midst of World War II, and the country was facing all sorts of economic challenges. The production of coins during this time was essential for everyday transactions, but due to the war, many materials were in short supply. This led to the U.S. Mint making some significant changes in the design and composition of various coins, and the 1944 penny was no exception. The 1944 wheat penny, like its predecessors, features the famous wheat ears design on the reverse side of the coin. This design, which was created by Victor David Brenner, showcases two ears of wheat encircling the words United States of America and E Pluribus Unum. The coin also displays 1 cent, proudly indicating its value. But it's the obverse side of the coin that has sparked so much interest over the years. On the front of the 1944 wheat penny, you'll find the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This design, also created by Brenner, has been the official image on U.S. pennies since 1909. Lincoln's dignified portrait is accompanied by the inscription Liberty and the year 1944, along with the phrase, "In God We Trust." Now, while the design of the 1944 wheat penny is timeless, what really sets this coin apart is its composition and rarity. Up until 1942, pennies were primarily made of copper. However, with the onset of World War II and the need for copper for military purposes, the U.S. Mint began producing pennies using a composition of zinc-coated steel in 1943. But by 1944, the U.S. Mint returned to its original copper alloy, and this is where things get interesting. Although the majority of 1944 pennies were struck using this copper alloy, there were a small number of coins that were mistakenly struck using the leftover zinc-coated steel from the previous year. These 1944 steel pennies are extremely rare and highly coveted by collectors. In fact, they are considered one of the most valuable coins from the 20th century. So, why are these rare steel pennies from 1944 so valuable? Well, it all comes down to the scarcity of the era. Only a small number of them were accidentally minted, and since they were made of steel instead of copper, they have a distinct appearance and feel. The chances of finding one of these 1944 steel pennies in circulation today are incredibly slim, making them one of the most sought-after coins by collectors. But even if your 1944 penny isn't one of the steel versions, it can still be worth a decent amount of money, especially if it's in exceptional condition. The general 1944 copper wheat penny, when found in high grades, can still fetch a good price. Coins that are in uncirculated or mint state condition, meaning they show no signs of wear, are always worth more to collectors. These coins have retained their original luster and shine, making them more valuable than their well-worn counterparts. Now, let's talk about the value. If you happen to find a 1944 wheat penny in exceptional condition or, better yet, a rare 1944 steel penny, you could be holding on to a small fortune. A typical 1944 wheat penny, in average circulated condition, might only be worth a few dollars. However, as we mentioned earlier, the real treasure lies in those rare steel versions. Some of these rare 1944 steel pennies have sold for tens of thousands of dollars at auction, with the highest prices reaching into the six-figure range. So, just how much could a 1944 wheat penny be worth if it's in the right condition or happens to be one of those rare steel versions? In the case of the rare 1944 steel penny, you could be looking at a price of up to $66,000. Yes, you heard that right, $66,000 for a single penny. This makes the 1944 wheat penny one of the most valuable pennies to ever exist, but don't worry if your 1944 penny doesn't have that rare steel error. A well-preserved 1944 copper penny in mint condition can still fetch a respectable price. Whether it's the historical significance, the rarity of the steel versions, or simply the allure of owning a piece of U.S. history, the 1944 wheat penny is a coin that holds a lot of potential value for collectors. So, if you happen to have a 1944 wheat penny in your collection or find one in your spare change, take a closer look. It might be worth more than you think. Whether it's the copper version or the elusive steel error, this penny could be your ticket to a valuable treasure. Be sure to keep an eye out for those rare finds, and who knows, you might just have a $66,000 penny sitting in your collection right now. Today's video, we're diving into one of the most iconic and sought-after coins in American numismatics, the 1945 wheat penny. This coin might look like a simple, everyday cent, but in reality, it holds a fascinating story and incredible value that has captured the attention of collectors for decades. If you've ever wondered why the 1945 wheat penny is so coveted, stay tuned because we're about to uncover the secrets behind this beloved coin. The story of the 1945 wheat penny starts with the historical context of the time. It was a pivotal year in U.S. history, as World War II was coming to a close. The nation was transitioning from wartime production to peacetime, and this had a significant impact on the coins being minted. The 1945 penny, part of the long-running wheat series, has been especially cherished by collectors because of its striking design and the fact that it was made at the tail end of a turbulent period in history. The design of the 1945 wheat penny is rooted in the legacy of the famous Lincoln cent series, which debuted in 1909. On the obverse side of the coin, we see a well-known portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, created by the artist Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's image is flanked by the word Liberty to the left and the year 1945 to the right, with the iconic motto, "In God We Trust," inscribed above his head. The reverse of the coin features 2 ears of wheat, which is why it's often called the wheat penny. Encircling the wheat ears are the words United States of America and E pluribus unum, along with 1 cent prominently displayed in the center. Now, what makes the 1945 wheat penny so valuable to collectors? First, let's talk about the composition. By 1945, the U.S. Mint had returned to producing pennies with a copper alloy after using steel for the 1943 pennies due to wartime shortages. The 1945 pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, which is the same as the standard composition for most U.S. pennies of the era. However, it's the condition and rarity of these coins that really make them stand out in the world of coin collecting. The 1945 wheat penny is highly desirable, but like many coins, its value varies depending on the grade or condition of the coin. Coins that are in mint state, meaning they have been well preserved and show little to no wear, are the ones that attract the highest prices. These coins are often referred to as uncirculated or MS, mint state, coins. Collectors value these pristine examples because they represent the coin in its original, untouched form. One of the key factors in determining the value of a 1945 wheat penny is its rarity. While many of these coins were minted, the ones in exceptional condition are much harder to find today. Over the years, these coins have been through circulation, and most have experienced some wear and tear, reducing their overall value. However, when you come across a 1945 penny that has been well preserved over the years, it can command a much higher price on the open market. But the rarity factor isn't just about the condition of the coin, it's also about the mint mark. The mint mark indicates which U.S. mint facility produced the coin, and certain mint marks can increase the value of a coin. For the 1945 wheat penny, there are 3 possible mint marks: the D mint mark, which stands for the Denver Mint, the S mint mark, which represents the San Francisco Mint, and the No mint mark coins, which were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. While the majority of 1945 wheat pennies were struck in Philadelphia, the D and S mint mark coins are generally considered to be more valuable, especially if they are in higher grades. But let's be clear, it's not just the mint marks that matter when determining the value of a 1945 wheat penny. The overall condition, rarity, and demand for the coin play a huge role in how much a collector is willing to pay. For example, a well-preserved 1945's mint mark penny in uncirculated condition could be worth a lot more than a 1945 or no mint mark penny in the same grade. Now, let's get to the exciting part. How much is the 1945 wheat penny actually worth? If you happen to come across a 1945 wheat penny that's in outstanding condition, you could be holding onto a small fortune. Even coins that are in average circulated condition can fetch a few dollars, but those rare, mint-state examples can be worth much, much more. So, just how high can the value go? In recent years, some of the finest examples of the 1945 wheat penny have sold for impressive amounts at auction. While most 1945 pennies are not worth a fortune, collectors are willing to pay top dollar for coins that meet their high standards. If you're lucky enough to find one of these rare, high-grade coins, you could potentially sell it for a considerable sum. For the absolute best examples of the 1945 wheat penny, including the ones with rare mint marks or those in uncirculated condition, the value can soar to incredible heights. So, what's the price that collectors are willing to pay for one of these prized pennies? Hold on to your hats. If you have an exceptional 1945 wheat penny in your collection, you might be looking at a price tag of $60,000. That's right, $60,000 for a single penny. Whether it's the result of its historical significance, its rarity, or its stunning condition, the 1945 wheat penny can bring in serious money when it's the right one. If you're lucky enough to have one of these coins in your collection or find one in your spare change, make sure to carefully inspect it. If it's in great shape and has a rare mint mark, you could be holding on to a true treasure. Whether it's for the love of collecting or the potential for a big payout, the 1945 wheat penny remains one of the most valuable and cherished coins in the world of numismatics. Today's exciting video, we're going to talk about a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors for decades, the 1957 wheat penny. Yes, that's right, we're diving into the world of the classic 1-cent coin that many people overlook but holds incredible value in the right conditions. The 1957 wheat penny is not just a piece of history, it's also a valuable gem in the world of numismatics. So, what makes the 1957 wheat penny so special? Well, let's start by looking at the coin itself. The design of the wheat penny has become one of the most iconic in American coinage. On the front of the coin, you'll find the image of Abraham Lincoln, created by artist Victor David Brenner. Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, is portrayed with a calm expression, facing to the right, his image dominating the obverse of the coin. The words, "In God We Trust," are inscribed above him, and to the right, you'll find the year, 1957, along with the word "Liberty" on the left, but it's the reverse of the coin that really makes the 1957 wheat penny stand out. The back features two sheaves of wheat, forming an arch around the words, E Pluribus Unum and United States of America. At the bottom of the reverse, you'll see the denomination, 1 cent, clearly indicating that this coin is part of the US cent series. Now, let's take a step back in time to 1957. The country was in a period of economic growth, and the United States Mint was busy producing coins to keep up with the demand. The 1957 wheat penny was part of the final years of the famous wheat penny series, which ran from 1909 to 1958. After this, the U.S. Mint switched to the Lincoln Memorial design that we know today. That's why the 1957 wheat penny is considered a piece of history and is cherished by collectors. As with all coins, the condition of the 1957 wheat penny plays a huge role in its value. Most of the coins from this year were circulated, which means they've seen plenty of wear and tear. But it's the ones that have been well preserved over time, those that remain in near perfect condition, that hold the greatest value. You might be asking, how can I tell if I have a rare, high-value coin? Well, the key factors to look for are the grade of the coin and its mint mark. When it comes to grading, there are several levels, from poor to uncirculated. A coin that is graded as uncirculated is one that has not been in circulation, meaning it shows no signs of wear and retains most of its original details. A coin in this condition can fetch a much higher price than one that has been in circulation for years. But even within uncirculated coins, there are varying grades, with higher grade coins, such as MS 65 or higher, being worth even more. Speaking of mint marks, this is where things get even more interesting. The mint mark on a coin indicates where it was produced, and for the 1957 wheat penny, there are three possible mint marks: the D mint mark for Denver, the S mint mark for San Francisco, and the no mint mark coins, which were struck in Philadelphia. While the Philadelphia Mint produced the majority of the 1957 wheat pennies, the coins with a D or S mint mark can sometimes be more valuable, especially in higher grades. Now, let's talk about value. While most 1957 wheat pennies can be found for just a few cents or dollars, coins in excellent condition, especially those with rare mint marks, can command much higher prices. And that's where the excitement really begins. If you happen to come across a 1957 wheat penny in mint state, you could be holding onto something worth a significant amount of money. As we mentioned earlier, the 1957 wheat penny was part of the final year of the wheat series, making it a desirable coin among collectors. High-grade, uncirculated 1957 pennies are in demand, and the combination of historical significance and rarity can drive the value up even higher. In fact, if you're lucky enough to find a 1957 wheat penny in mint condition, you could be looking at a price tag that could surprise you. Depending on the grade, mint mark, and overall condition, a 1957 wheat penny can sell for anywhere from a few dollars to thousands of dollars. But for the very best examples, those coins that are practically flawless and have the rarest mint marks, the value can soar. So, are you ready for the big reveal? What could you expect to make if you have one of these rare coins in your collection or find one in your change jar? If you happen to own an exceptional 1957 wheat penny, particularly one in mint condition with a rare mint mark, you could sell it for as much as $67,000. Yes, you read that right. $67,000 for a single penny. It's an astonishing amount, but that's the kind of value you could be looking at for a truly remarkable coin. If you have a 1957 wheat penny, it's worth taking the time to examine it closely. Whether it's for the historical value or the potential for a big payout, this little coin has captured the attention of collectors for years and will continue to do so for generations to come. Today, we're going to dive deep into a truly fascinating piece of American coinage, the 1949 wheat penny. While most of us are familiar with the image of the Lincoln penny, the 1949 wheat penny stands out as a valuable and historically significant coin that can fetch some serious money, especially if it's in the right condition. The first thing you'll notice about the 1949 wheat penny is its design. Like all wheat pennies, this one features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, which was designed by the talented Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's portrait is depicted in profile, facing right, with the words, "In God We Trust," above him, "Liberty," on the left, and the year, 1949, clearly visible below. There's a sense of timelessness when you hold one of these in your hand, as it represents not just a part of American history, but also a very important era in the coinage of the United States. Flipping the coin over to the reverse, we see the familiar wheat ears, two sheaves of wheat, one on each side of the words, United States of America, and E pluribus unum. At the bottom, the coin is marked with 1 cent, making it instantly recognizable to anyone who's seen U.S. coins before. These details are simple, yet iconic, making the wheat penny series one of the most beloved and collected sets in American numismatics. Now, what makes the 1949 wheat penny so valuable, and why should you pay attention to this particular year in the series? The answer lies in its rarity, condition, and mint mark. Most wheat pennies, including the 1949 version, were produced in large quantities, but not all of them have stood the test of time. Pennies from the 1940s were used in everyday transactions, so many of them became worn down and damaged over the years. If you're lucky enough to find a 1949 wheat penny that's in pristine, uncirculated condition, it could be worth a lot more than you might expect. Another factor that contributes to the value of the 1949 wheat penny is the mint mark. If you take a close look at your coin, you might notice a small letter on the obverse side near the date. This mint mark tells you where the coin was produced. The 1949 wheat penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins produced in Philadelphia did not have a mint mark, while those produced in Denver were marked with a D, and those from San Francisco bore an S. While the Philadelphia Mint produced the most coins in 1949, the Denver and San Francisco mints were known for producing slightly fewer coins, which can make these pennies more valuable, especially in higher grades. Collectors often look for the mint marks when they're seeking out the rarest examples of these coins. So, how do you determine the value of your 1949 wheat penny? As with any collectible coin, the condition is paramount. Coins are graded based on their wear and tear, and this can make a huge difference in the value. A coin that has been heavily circulated and shows signs of wear will typically have a much lower value than one that has been well preserved and looks almost as good as the day it was minted. Grading scales can range from poor, PR, to mint state, MS, with mint state being the highest grade. If you're fortunate enough to come across a 1949 wheat penny in mint state condition, it's likely to be worth a pretty penny. But that's not all. Some of the most valuable 1949 wheat pennies have a rare combination of factors: they're in excellent condition, have a mint mark, and are from a year when relatively few were produced. It's not uncommon for a 1949 wheat penny in top-tier condition, especially one with a D or S mint mark, to fetch a higher price. The rarity and desirability of these coins have caused collectors to seek them out, which in turn has driven up their value in the market. If you're a coin collector looking for a gem to add to your collection, a 1949 wheat penny could be just what you need. Now, here comes the exciting part. What can you expect to sell your 1949 wheat penny for if you happen to have one in excellent condition? It might surprise you to learn that this little penny, which many people overlook, can actually be worth a significant amount of money. In the right condition, with the right mint mark, and the right rarity, a 1949 wheat penny could fetch up to $66,000. Yes, you read that correctly. $66,000 for a single penny from 1949. This incredible value is a testament to how rare and sought after certain coins can be, especially when they've been carefully preserved for decades. Whether you've inherited a coin collection or found one of these gems hidden in your change jar, it's worth taking the time to assess the value of your 1949 wheat penny. You could be sitting on a small fortune. Today, we have an exciting coin to discuss that's bound to spark the interest of both seasoned collectors and newcomers alike: the 1950 wheat penny. This small yet historically significant coin has captured the attention of collectors for decades, and it's easy to see why. The 1950 wheat penny is not just another coin from the past, it's a piece of history that could potentially be worth a small fortune. The 1950 wheat penny, like all pennies in this iconic series, features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. This design, created by the talented Victor David Brenner, has been gracing the U.S. penny since 1909. Lincoln's profile is depicted facing right, with the words, "In God We Trust," above him, "Liberty," on the left, and the year, 1950, clearly marked beneath his image. If you look closely, you'll see the careful detailing of Lincoln's face, which reflects the craftsmanship of the time. This particular year was significant because it marked the final years of the wheat penny series, which would soon be replaced by the memorial penny starting in 1959. On the reverse of the 1950 wheat penny, we see the iconic ears of wheat that have become synonymous with the series. The words "United States of America" stretch across the top, with "De Pluribus Unum" on the left side, and 1 cent at the bottom. These simple yet timeless elements make the wheat penny one of the most recognizable and cherished coins in American numismatics. While the design is beautiful in its simplicity, it's the rarity and condition of the 1950 wheat penny that make it truly valuable today. The 1950 penny was produced in large quantities, and many of them were heavily circulated, which means they have been subject to wear and tear over the years. The true value of a coin like the 1950 wheat penny lies in its condition, so it's important to check carefully for any signs of damage, corrosion, or heavy wear. If your 1950 wheat penny has remained in exceptional condition, it could be worth far more than its face value. Another important factor in determining the value of this coin is its mint mark. The 1950 wheat penny was minted in 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coins from Philadelphia do not carry a mint mark, while those produced in Denver are marked with a D, and those from San Francisco are marked with an S. While the Philadelphia Mint produced the majority of the 1950 wheat pennies, the Denver and San Francisco Mint marks are relatively rarer, which can make those specific coins more desirable to collectors. As you can imagine, collectors tend to search for specific mint marks, as well as coins in higher grades. A coin that shows little to no wear and is free from any noticeable blemishes or damage is highly sought after in the collecting world. When it comes to the 1950 wheat penny, you'll find that the highest quality examples tend to command a premium price in the market. But what makes this particular coin so special, and why is it worth so much money today? One reason is that the 1950 wheat penny is becoming increasingly difficult to find in high-quality condition. Over time, many of these coins have been damaged, lost, or simply worn down to the point where they're no longer in good shape. As the years go by, the 1950 wheat penny is becoming rarer, which is driving up its value. The demand for well-preserved examples is growing, making it a highly desirable coin for collectors to track down. Now, let's get to the most exciting part: just how much can a 1950 wheat penny be worth today? If you happen to own one of these rare gems in exceptional condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. While the value of any coin depends on its grade, mint mark, and condition, the 1950 wheat penny has been known to sell for some impressive amounts. In the right circumstances, a 1950 wheat penny could fetch up to $61,000. Yes, that's right, $61,000 for a single penny that's more than 70 years old. It's important to note that this price is reserved for coins in top-tier condition, such as those graded as MS-65 or higher, and those with a rare mint mark or a particularly well-preserved appearance. But even if your coin isn't in perfect condition, it could still be worth far more than face value, especially if you have a rare mint mark or if the coin has been kept in great shape. The 1950 wheat penny is a great example of how even a small, seemingly ordinary coin can become a valuable piece of history over time. As collectors continue to seek out these rare and well-preserved examples, their value will only continue to rise. So, if you happen to come across a 1950 wheat penny, it's definitely worth taking the time to examine it closely. You might just find that you're holding onto a coin that could make you a substantial amount of money. If you've enjoyed learning about the 1950 wheat penny and its impressive value, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more exciting coin-related content. Who knows, your next coin might be the next big find. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting.